Good evening, my sincere greetings to the respective professors and my friends. I would like to begin my presentation with an intimidating fact. That is, 1 out of 3 of us present here may have a possibility to commit an act of violence in the future. You may all wonder why or on what basis am I stating this fact. I am referring to the systematic review analysis of 32 research papers from 22 countries with over 12,000 participants that have estimated that 31% of Indians may have an impulse control disorder. Many neuroscientific studies also claim that not all convicts are perpetrators, but some are patients as well. Punishing patients may adversely affect the principles of fairness, equity and proportionality. So it's high time that we need to integrate that the behavioral science behind the judicial discretion and neuroscience behind the antisocial behavior in order to establish a neurobiologically informed criminal justice system. These are some research reviews that mention that due to functional abnormalities present in the brain, there are individuals that commit antisocial behavior and they have a deviant behavior that leads to commit crime. Our research question is, what is the need and what are the ways to integrate neurobiology and behavioral science behind the judicial discretion? The research objectives are to explore the prospects of integrating neuroscience knowledge with the judicial decision making and to provide for a potential policy recommendation for the same. The neuroscience of antisocial behavior will be explained by my co-author. He is Dr. Siddhartha. He has completed his MBBS and is currently pursuing public policy studies from NLS Bangalore.
Good evening. I will be discussing on the neurobiological basis of antisocial behaviors. Antisocial behaviors are characterized by the extenuated empathy, aggressive behaviors, neuro abnormalities. First one with respect to the frontal lobe. This part of the brain has sensory neurons which is GABAergic and is responsible for hyperpolarization. This part of the brain controls the impulse as well as helps in decision making and planning. Any defect in this part may lead to impaired impulse control. Second one is with respect to the limbic system. This encompasses parts like amygdala, cingulate gyrus and hippocampus. And this plays a major role in emotional processing. Any defect in this region of the brain may lead to a diminished emotional processing and hypersexual behaviors. Third one with respect to the neurotransmitters, we are specifically focusing on the serotonin, dopamine, glutamic acid and GABA. So these plays a major role in mood regulation and emotional stability. Any impairment in these or imbalances in these leads to emotional volatility and aggressive behavior. Delving into the behavioral science aspect, it's a interdisciplinary field which analyzes the human behavior and the factors behind it. So we have taken 4 biases, behavioral aspects of it. First one is with respect to the confirmation bias. This is the relying more on the facts that are in line with the pre-existing beliefs. Second one is with respect to the anchoring bias, that relying more on the first part of the information, even though that information may be arbitrary. Third one is with respect to the social proof heuristics, relying more on the opinion of the majority. And finally, the prospect theory, which is the risk aversion. Due to the paucity of time, I may not be able to give you the illustrations for the same. If you want me to do it, I will give it at the end.
So we have followed an exploratory, empirical and secondary quantitative research methodology with secondary data taken from the NCRB sources. We have taken 3 crimes that is associated with impulse control, such as murder with enmity or vendetta as a motive. This is the data that we have taken from NCRB and this is the graph. This graph shows the proportion of enmity or vendetta as a motive for murder to the total murders in the corresponding years from 2014 to 2021. In this data, many motives have been mentioned in NCRB that organized murders, dowry and caste or religious related aspects are also there, but we have taken only personal vendetta because it exposes the impulse control impairment within the ambit of committing murder, and this nearly accounts to 10 to 15%, if you see there. From 10 to 15% of the data, the personal vendetta or the enmity alone will contribute to the total murders that has been committed. And the second data we have taken are the juvenile delinquency. Certain cases we have taken murder, culpable homicide not amounting to murder, attempt to both of these and hurt. These 5 cases are where are done as a result of impaired impulse control, and this graph shows the proportionality of this impulse control committed crime to the total juvenile delinquencies. If you see here, nearly 25% of the total proportionality between the crimes committed due to the impulse impaired control to the total juvenile delinquencies committed here, you will find that 25% there is a proportion here. And the third data that we have taken is offences relating to NDPS Act. Here we have especially focused upon the possession of drugs for personal consumption. This also is occurred due to the impulse control only. Here, okay. Yes, sir. Policy recommendation. So here we are recommending a policy for a comprehensive data framework to improve the judicial discretion behind and to make the judiciary more knowledgeable and informed about the neurobiology involved in committing the crimes. And we need a criminal justice reform system, training and capacity building.